Hello, beautiful souls. It's Kat from Elevate, and welcome to my channel where we talk about regaining ourselves after toxic relationships and getting back our self love and self esteem. Before I get deeper into today's topic, please subscribe to my channel by pressing subscribe and the bell icon to get notified of any new videos. So, the idea of feeling alone in a relationship is familiar to many of us. And I know I felt it myself in my last relationship. It was very difficult because I did feel like I was taking so many steps to improve the relationship and to educate my partner, sending him like articles about relationships and different communications and attachment styles. Unfortunately, you can feel alone uh, due to being with a partner who isn't fully participating emotionally in creating a healthy relationship. And it could be for many different reasons that that person is unable to do so. So, one of the reasons would be limited emotional capability. They literally can't handle emotionally participating more because they don't have the emotional skills necessary to do so. So they don't necessarily have the skills set or the maturity necessary. So there could be two different things that make them incapable of actually meeting you in a healthy place emotionally for this relationship. They might have a lot, like not, they might not have the communication skills. And that's part of like the emotional skills. So then you're basically, they're unable to meet you where you need to be met for healthy connection. They may be emotionally unavailable. They may have learned that in life we deal with emotions by shutting down. That's how they've dealt with it. They don't understand that you want to talk about things because they think that that's either weak. Sometimes people will think, like, especially men may think, oh, that's weak to talk about emotions because they've been brought up in their childhood and where that was considered weak because they were told that that was weak if they did that. So they were, let's say, younger and it was not embraced or encouraged to talk about emotions. Now they don't know how to access those emotions because everything's been shut down for so long. I'm not trying to stereotype here, but it does happen to a lot of men that stereotypically that when they're younger, they do encounter that type of mentality or attitude towards them and their emotions, and it could really damage them for the rest of their life. Other people could have personality disorders like narcissists or mentally ill. They are also not going to be able to meet you emotionally in a healthy relationship. You're going to feel like you're alone in the relationship because that person who has a personality disorder or is mentally ill is not even able to have a healthy relationship with themselves. So because their own psyche is so chaotic and not healthy, then they're not going to be able to connect with you in a healthy way. And that's not true for people who are medicated who are mentally ill because that's a different story because they may be able to manage to learn new skills once they're medicated. So when you're on the other side of a relationship like this and you're trying your best and to do what you can, you want to see the best in people. And despite the fact that the worst is being shown to you, most likely, and you may, turn very codependent and act very codependent in this situation because you care about this person and you want to help them. But it becomes a very slippery slope when we want to help people who are adults who really should know better, right? We shouldn't have to teach people how to treat us with respect, kindness, and care. What we really need to do is focus on ourselves more and getting our own needs met. So if we have needs, like we have a need for honesty, or we have a need for someone keeping plans with us and not canceling at the last minute often. Maybe that's something we can't handle in a relationship and it doesn't work for us. We need to enforce those things by making a boundary and saying to our partner, I need this. I'd really love it if you could provide this to me. If not, I don't know if this relationship can go forward. You need loving kindness. You need commitment. You need a cooperative environment between the two of you where you both want to participate and cooperate with each other. Like you want collaboration, not competition. So if you feel like your partner's competing with you, like I used to feel that way with my ex, it's not going to really work. You need like a generosity of spirit between the two of you where you're both willing to give, and it's the other person's also giving and giving. It shouldn't feel one-sided. When it feels one-sided and it feels like you're the only one making the efforts, then you're going to notice you feel like you're being used and you feel like that person is not emotionally committed. They might physically be there. They like I used with my ex-boyfriend, he was physically there, but it just seemed like his own life pursuits were more important than our relationship future together or our life together. And I think that people should have individual goals as well as shared goals as a couple. So I believe that people should have both, and there should be a balance. It's not either or. Interdependence is the healthy dependence that is healthy in a relationship. So it's interdependence. It's not independence and it's not codependence. It's interdependence, which is like a healthy way that I can rely on you and you can rely on me, but we're not, codependent in an unhealthy way. We're not like needing each other in an unhealthy way, going to one extreme or another. There's like this middle ground. The thing you want to find is interdependence between you and your partner. Shared goals as well as individual goals that are both prioritized similarly, and you're both going forward making a great future together, and you're committed to that emotionally. And you want to feel a sense of that this person is emotionally like with you, like they're on board. They value the relationship as being something really important. And going forward to dating, if you're just dating now and you haven't found someone who you're in a relationship with, you have to be very careful who you start dating. You need to find a person that has the emotional skills and maturity to have a healthy relationship with you. You want to focus on thinking about what they are capable of and what they're not capable of. So stop thinking they can be fixed or learn these things, because usually they cannot. We're products of our childhood patterns. And unless they're really doing the work, their own personal work, then they're probably not going to be evolving, and they'll be stuck on indefinitely in their old patterns. So if you're with someone who is doing the work, it's a different story. But a lot of times, if you feel like you're not emotionally being met in a healthy place in a relationship, then that person's probably not doing the work. And going ahead, you want to be careful who you date. Like you want to be dating people casually for a few months before you commit, because why commit to someone who doesn't necessarily have the skills that are necessary for a healthy relationship? Why not vet the person for a couple months and see, okay, this person has the skills or they don't. And you'll also be able to kind of get rid of like many narcissists and toxic people within a few months, because a lot of times the red flags will come out during that period of time. So, you know, it makes sense to hold back emotionally and not commit and not sort of dive into something very quickly, because ultimately it's a matter of self-protection. You're protecting yourself if you hold back and you sort of vet this person and see what they're all about and see what they're capable of and what they're not capable of. Once you get into a relationship, you're much more emotionally involved, and then you're trying to save it because you want to make it work because you made this choice to be involved. But the trick is to, let's say, not get involved as quickly emotionally and hold back a little bit, and then you will not get as involved or as hurt if you encounter one of these people who's toxic and incapable of actually having a healthy relationship. Listen, anything is possible. You could be with someone for 8 months and then find out that they're a toxic, terrible person. But It's just one way to limit the amount of pain that you're going to go through if you vet these people and don't jump into things. Because like narcissists and toxic people love bomb you in the beginning. So you kind of will know, oh, like maybe something's not right. Let me take it slow. And that's your cue. And then if you do slow things down and you do hold back your emotions, you might come out unscathed. Whereas if you jumped in like right away after a month or two, you may get really, really heartbroken in 6 months from then because this person turned out to be incapable of giving you a healthy relationship. And essentially that means they were incompatible with you. So give it some thought. And if you're dating, please, please be careful out there and really vet these people before you commit. You want to make sure somebody wants to be with you and you have the same goals. If you have any comments or you've been through this experience, please comment below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about these topics.